Hi everyone, how are you? I'm here with a tutorial on the laminated pocket notebooks. I had a few of you ask how I made these. Um, so I thought I would come on here and do just a really simple tutorial for you all to get you started. Because these are actually great to be made with vintage Christmas cards. So something looking forward, if you're kind of over Halloween and already made all your things for Halloween, we can look forward to Christmas now too, right? But this is the one that I made with a vintage treat bag. It was sent to me in Happy Mail from Jen. I couldn't bear to put this in a spread because it was so sweet. So essentially, all I did was I cut it open to be like a book, right? And I backed it on a vintage book page and I laminated it. And I added a little signature on this one. But it's really simple to do. So I thought I would take you through the process of how I do these step by step. Some of you, this is going to seem like ridiculous that I'm even doing this tutorial because it is a very simple process. Others might like to see it in real time. So some things that I'm going to need. I'm going to do a Halloween version, even though, like I said, you can do them with vintage Christmas cards the same exact way. I'm going to grab some Halloween papers that I have. I'm going to grab a mini composition notebook that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I have all kinds of Halloween goodies just laying around, being sent to me in swaps. I'm in the Scooby-Doo swap, and I'm in Kitten and Kitsch's Halloween card swap, so I get lots of things. I need to use them up, so I got some really adorable cards in the Kitten and Kitsch swap. This one's from Becky. This one's from Shellye. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this card today. And so this is really simple. This is a pretty nice, thick card. So I do not feel the need to back this with anything. And one thing that's really cute about that is it's going to preserve the nice message that she wrote me inside. So I will have this forever. This is a vintage Christmas card that I used. I also chose not to back this one because I wanted to see the graphics on the interior of the card, and I do think it feels thick enough. Now, in the case of these treat bags, these were super thin. So if it's thin paper, you're gonna need to back it with something heavier to make it sturdy. So I chose a vintage book page to line this one. This one I lined it. This one I don't have a signature in yet. This one I lined with cardstock. And the other one I lined with cardstock as well. So as you can see, this card is definitely bigger than my little mini notebook, and I'm gonna leave that. I don't really care if it's an exact perfect fit. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and I could trim down the card a little bit. You know what, maybe looking upon it, maybe I will trim. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to trim it because the card is cute and the message inside is important to me. So I'm not going to trim this. So because I don't have to back this card, it's heavy enough, I'm going to run it through my laminator. Really simple. If I chose to back this card, now would be when I would glue it onto a piece of cardstock, right? So this would be there. I use 3mm laminating sheets. Next time I buy laminating sheets, I will be buying a thicker mill. It's just I don't feel like wasting what I've purchased, so I will use them all. Okay, so to get ready to laminate, one thing that I always do is I always sandwich what I'm laminating between 2 sheets of cardstock that I put a little piece of tape along the side so it opens like a book. I'm sure with some laminators that's not necessary. I have a very cheap laminator that I've actually had to take apart several times because it has like curled things underneath the rollers from time to time. So I find the sturdier the material is, the better off I am. I can trim this also. If you wanted to trim this, you could. I don't. I very seldom. I used to try and save the pieces and use for other things, but truth be told, I just misplaced them and it just causes more issues than it's worth. Okay, so my card is in the lamination pouch and I'm gonna run it through my laminator that I believe is heated up. So hopefully it is. So you have some choices here. You have some choices to leave this composition notebook as is if it's a corresponding color and you like the way it looks, or you can decorate the cover, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take some of my papers that I received from some swaps, and I have a glue stick here. I am going to liberally apply glue to the cover. I am not going to glue on the black fabric spine, just on the cover. And I'm going to get all the way to the edge with that. And just going to lay this on there and press that down. And I'm going to do the same for the back. So this is really easy, right? There's nothing tricky here. The most difficult part is coming up. And by difficult, it's so easy. These are great beginner journals. These are great when you are in the mood for a quick project to feel like you've really accomplished something. I love that feeling, like finishing a project in one sitting. Ugh, I love that. So maybe that's why I love these so much. Plus, I love little journals because they get full so quickly. I'm going to check on my lamination. Sometimes I have to run it through twice. Do I need? Nope. I'm good. I am pretty good. Okay, so now my card is laminated. And now I have to try, and they're right in front of me. I was like, now I have to try and find my scissors. So obviously, or not so obviously, I'm going to trim around this and I'm going to leave a little edge, okay? And I'm also, while I'm out here with my scissors, I'm going to trim all of this. So we can chat while we trim. Are you currently in any swaps right now? And if so, tell me which ones. Are you having fun? Do you get stressed out? Like, what's your feelings on swaps? I get kind of stressed out. There's a few things I'm going to talk about on, I did like a little mini podcast last week. And by mini, I mean like 15 minutes of my thoughts, but it seemed pretty well received. So this week I'm going to talk about swaps a little bit. I get very overwhelmed. All right, so this is trimmed. Because this was a greeting card, it was already scored nice in the middle for me. So I don't really have to do much there. It's already scored. If this was an item that I backed with a sheet of paper that was not scored yet, I would have to go and, I don't know if you have a scoreboard. I do. I love it. If not, you can just take a ruler so you have a straight edge and you press really hard to make like a line so it's easier to fold. So there's my little card. It's so cute. All trimmed up. See? So simple. And now here's my little composition book. I'm just going to trim this cover off. Yeah, so right now I am in two swaps. I am in Girly Junk's Scooby-Doo swap, which I still have to get all my things out. All of them. I haven't sent one. I am a creator participating in the calendar of activities for the journal kit. So I kind of wanted my swap to be centered towards my week's themes, but I'm having a hard time finding all the things. So they'll get there. I'll get there. I'll find them, or I'll make them and send them. So I'm in that. And so I've been getting lots of Scooby-Doo things. And I'm also in, I mentioned earlier, Kitten and Kitsch's Halloween card exchange. See how great that looks? And so I've been getting a ton of cards with tons of Halloween stuff. All my cards I've been like clothespinning to my fall tree, and it's so cute. I took this one off of my fall tree. I was like, what do I have to make this? I popped this off of there. So, okay, so here we go. I got my journal cover. I have my signature, or what I'm going to use for my signature, right? Okay, and it's going to fit in there just like this. Fit in there. This is the trickiest part of the entire thing. Let me get I'm going to use I'll use an owl for demonstration, and I also have some hole punches that make small holes, which I find very helpful to have. It's very old, but it is my go-to. All right, so there is a detail to this that I love. In my treat bags, I took a piece of trim and I sewed it along the edge. I took this to my sewing machine to sew. On my Christmas card one, I did a zigzag stitch. That's something you're into and you like to sew and you like to use your sewing machine to create your journals. This is a really nice detail you can add. It is not necessary. So for this one, I'm going to omit it because I know a lot of you do not like a sewing machine. You do not want to deal with a sewing machine. So I just have a piece of cardboard here I'm going to lay down. And I'm going to estimate about the middle of the journal, and I'm going to poke a hole. And I'll use this because most of us have this. So I'm just going to eyeball it here. I'm going to find about the middle of my journal. I'm going to make a little hole, and I'm going to go right through. And I want that hole to be large enough for me to fit my elastic through. I have a piece of just black elastic. You can find it on Amazon. And then I'm going to thread it through here. And so before I tie it off, I'm just going to see how much I need there to keep this journal closed. So that's good, right? Perfect. You know what? These would make amazing sticker books too, if you're looking to create something like that. So now on the inside, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that from here? I guess you can. I'm just going to tie this in a knot. I need to make myself a sticker book. And I want this knot to be fairly tight. Okay. And see how that's just going to slip through there. So now that I know that it's the proper length, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim this. I always wait to trim because you never know. And it's forgiving. You can go back and redo it if you need to. Okay, and so then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put an elastic this way so we can slide our signature into here. So what I'm going to do for here is I'm going to poke a hole at the bottom. I guess, yeah, this is the bottom. So I'm going to poke a hole at the bottom and I'm going to poke a hole at the top. I'm going to go down about 1/2 inch from, I'd say, like the top of the card, not the lamination. Does that make sense? I have these. I love these. I don't even know. I feel like I got these at Michael's like 10 years ago. They might not even make them. Again, you can easily use this. I'll just use this for the sake of everyone having the same tools. So again, I'm going to go down about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just making a hole. Can you see that? And I'm going right through. This is, I hear people say this all the time, so I guess I'll say it too. This is not a toy. These are very sharp. If you have a child making this project, do not let them do this on their own. They're sharp, they can get hurt. I've hurt myself on them by just not paying attention, so. Okay, there's my little disclaimer. Don't let the children's use those. Okay, so I have this loop, I have this. Can we see? I'm going to loop this up through the little guy here. And I want to make sure that it sets nicely in between those. See, I'm running it through the loop. And I'm taking the top. Can you see what I'm doing? Not like if you answer me, I can hear you. But I'm just going to push this through, feed that through. I'm going to do the same on the bottom. Okay. So now we have our string, and this, the string that runs through the closure. And again, I am just going to tie this off on the inside. It's really simple. I'll double knot it. And so now you can see that this can loop around easy and not get in the way of the elastic for your signature. So that's why we looped it through. And because I'm happy with the placement, I'm going to go ahead and trim this. That is perfect. You can decorate this to high heaven, which I will do. I'll add some trim, I'll add lots of fun little things. But for the time being, I'm just going to slide this in just like this. And the really interesting and fun thing about this is when I fill up that notebook and I still want to use this cover, I can do that. I can take out the insides and I can use this cover next year if I want. I can say, you know what, I want to make this a sticker book. And so I can take that out and I can figure something else out with it. Another fun little thing to do is, like I said, because this is an elastic little guy there, you can add whatever you want. So I can add in signature pages, I can add in little, like, just all sorts of things. I have some little doodads here, like a little pumpkin. I can just put in there so it's nice and cute. I can add all kinds of things to the center of this signature. I've been saving like my packaging of things that I buy too, because I realize that when I go to buy things or when I'm looking for like vintage things, I really love the packaging. So maybe I should start saving some of my packaging, and then one day this will be already be chock full of vintage packaging and everyone will be like, oh, that's so cool. So yeah, I've been kind of saving and holding on to different packaging and different little cutouts and things like that. So I have added those in here. The only thing with this, because I decided not to trim it down, is I probably will have a hard time, unless I can adjust the signature up and leave the space at the bottom, having it look full at the top like this one. So that will be a little bit of a challenge, but I didn't want to ruin my card. So that's okay too. Choices were made. I'm happy with it. I can add things along the side very easily too. So here is my little pocket journal. I'm very happy with it. It's so easy, can be thrown in my purse. I can make notes. I can take this as a traveling journal and place all my things in it as I'm traveling, and maybe jot down some notes so I don't forget. Yeah, it's really sweet. And I'm definitely going to jazz up this a little bit more. I'm going to add some trim here. I'm probably going to add a pocket here so I can stuff that with all kinds of goodies. Wouldn't it be great if I could find another vintage treat bag to add? Oh, I should have saved one. See, I should have saved one. But yeah, you can fill this up however you like. Super simple. I hope you make one. I hope this helped. Um, I can't wait to see what you make. Please let me know if you decide to make this. I would love to know. And I would love to know if you had a different way of doing it that you found to be a little bit easier. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great day.